Hello everybody, Lawrence Fleming here. This is kind of an update for the beginning of the week. I may start dropping down to every other day for a little bit here with my current schedule. Plus I am anticipating something big. The reason I'm doing that is that there are things starting to happen, subtle things. But this is the calm before the storm. It shouldn't be calm. With tensions going the way they are around the world, we should be hearing news in the evening about stuff going on big time. One interesting thing going on is that we do have overlapping meteor showers from now till the middle of next month. If you're going to bring your angels down from heaven, it would be a good place to hide them in a meteor shower. Satan's going to eventually get kicked out of heaven completely, and that ought to make him feel real good. When God gives him the go-ahead to do whatever he wants, we're going to see what a mad Satan can do. Well, we may be watching from a longer distance, but the world will find out. And somebody made a comment about they're going to go fishing. That's one way of dealing with what's coming up. But the fish aren't going to do much better either when the wormwood meteor hits. It's going to kill a big chunk of them. And it'll poison them too, so we won't want to eat them. Anyhow, why we wait? There may be people who are afraid. I'm not concerned, but I am a little bit worried about what's going to happen. How are we going to know that we're being raptured? What will it feel like? Everybody has to wonder. We don't know. Is it going to feel like a heart attack? Elizabeth, I'm coming to meet you. You know, if you remember Sanford and Son. Or is it just going to be something that we just feel euphoria and we find ourselves rising? I don't know. We don't know. And that does give us a little bit of intrepidation. So I'm going to give you some verses for dealing with fear in the unknown. And I'm probably going to, I might drop these into the comments down below because there's a number of them. You're not going to be able to follow me, so just, you can write down the numbers or you can check in the comments. Let's start with Isaiah 41:10. And some of these you should know pretty well, even if you don't have them memorized. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not be dismayed, for I am your God. Let that sink in, who we're dealing with. There's no reason to be afraid. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteousness, my right hand. I don't know how much more I could read the rest of them, but they're all going to say basically the same thing. God is going to be able to take care of us. We can look at Hebrews 13:5 and 6. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? Or what can Satan do to me? Nothing. It's busy out here this morning. All right. I'll keep reading in between cars and tractors and everything. I'm trying to get out of here shortly this week and go camping, but we've got another storm coming in. Might have to put it off a week. We'll see. I can handle this. I used to camp in all weather, but the cameras don't like it. In 2 Timothy 1:7, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and of love and self-control. Now, if you're suffering right now for some reason, for some ailment or something that you're dealing with, these verses will apply too. It applies to all of us while we wait, whatever we're dealing with. Another truck. 2 more cars. It's not a weekend, it's Monday. Go out and get a job, people. Okay, here's one you should know. Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Satan's going to come after us as much as he can. God's going to protect us. But then, to make things simple, we're just going to be raptured. We don't have to put up with anything going on down here. Keep spreading the word. Okay, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. The rod and the staff are used for 2 things: to guide us around. The staff is a big walking stick and it can reach out. The rod is a smaller stick. And again, he can tap the sheep and guide them around so they don't know because they don't know which way to go. I don't know if you've ever watched sheep. They are dumb. I once saw a sheep one time get in the corner of a fence, his nose up against the corner, and he started bellowing. He was trapped. He didn't know what to do. All he had to do was back up, but he's too busy looking forward, and that's what got him in the problem in the first place. He was busy eating and wasn't looking where he was going and walked right into the corner. He was out there for about 10 minutes until the sheepdog came along and chased him out, and he went back to eating. Sheep are not very bright. We should be eating them. Okay, Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them. For it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. And he never changes. So if he did this back in Deuteronomy, you can guarantee he's doing this now. We have nothing to fear about what's coming. It will be different, interesting, but it's nothing to be afraid of. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. We're all going to face the rapture together, and we're going to face whatever the tribulation parts that we go into, if we go into it at all. We have a lot of stuff coming ahead of us, and it can happen fast. God doesn't need a year to roll out all this stuff. Frankly, he can do it in one day if he wanted to. But he wants the effect to be experienced by the rest of the world, so there'll be some time. We've got a Magog war coming up. As soon as they're through with Ukraine, and they could reach some kind of an agreement. Putin's not putting his full effort into this. He's not trying to destroy Ukraine. He's trying to get them to come over to his side. The president of the Ukraine was not a good guy to start off with. He will keep fighting on the eastern side until they reach some kind of an agreement. Maybe the Antichrist will be the one to broker the deal. But you watch him move his people down into Syria, his troops and his military, because they have a long way to go back to get back to Moscow. And he's going to have to protect that area for some time. Then he can focus on Syria. We have the complete destruction of Damascus coming soon. Is that going to lead off the Magog War, or is it going to end it? Don't know. And of course, we have the Rapture. We're in our high watch right now. If we've guessed right, and that's if anybody's saying that's going to be Easter, Passover, whatever, they're guessing. But it's a good guess. It's a logical guess. A number of our fellow watchers are pretty solid on it. But again, it's a guess. There are plenty of Jewish holidays coming up that it could also happen in. So if it doesn't happen, well, you have to keep listening to me. That's probably the hard part. But it's not going to be bad. We're still going to be protected. Let's look at Psalm 27:1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? No one, nothing. And we don't have to go see the wizard to get courage. It's already built into us. The Spirit will provide it. We don't have it. Now this one here kind of hits home. Psalm 46:1-3. God is our refuge and strength, very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. We're told of the earth having some major issues, and that the people of the time actually were wanting the mountains to fall on them, to hide them from God. Well, for some of them they will. We know that there's going to be a major earthquake and split in Israel. Jesus will be able to stand on either side of the split. It's going to be big time. The earth has never seen what's going to happen. And of course that means the people have never seen what's going to happen. So we will be safe no matter where we are. But I think we're going to be watching. Psalm 55:22. Cast your burden upon the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never allow the righteous to be shaken. So we're talking about major earthquakes. We're not talking about the things that we've seen so far. They're nothing. And we've seen the destruction of the little ones. We've seen what a 7 can do. What if we get a 10 or a 15? Do they even go that high? I think they've talked about in the past some of the major continental moves that we've seen were caused by 10s. I don't want to be down here. And I'm certainly not afraid. We have God's assurance. We still have pollen. We're not done with that yet. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. That's how close we can get to God. We can be in His shadow. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Psalm 91, verses 1 and 2. We have absolutely nothing to worry about. We can rest in the fact that nothing takes our sovereign God by surprise. Take your fears, your worries, your anxieties before God, because He cares about them and He desires for you to not be afraid. There are many other verses. God will protect us. And we're certainly not subject to the wrath of God. It's not the end of the tribulation rapture that we're looking forward to. It's the one in the beginning. There is one at the end. You are reading that correct, but it is not the only one. And those two are not the only raptures as well. There are others. This is all planned out. We have it written down because it's all planned out. Should have brought a water out here. It's going to start raining here in a little bit, so I'm trying to wrap up. I felt a few spring sprinkles already, so I'm going to go ahead and head on inside. It is the calm before the storm, but don't be surprised when it starts storming. Will we get out of here this week? It's a good possibility. Very good. The strongest one I've ever known. I don't think we're going to be looking at trumpets this fall. I think that's for Christ's return. But we got to get out of here so we can come back with Him. Be safe. Don't worry. Look in the text below and you can see these prayers listed for you. Be happy. Like the song, don't worry, be happy. Until we meet in the skies. God bless.